In this video, you're going to learn how to talk about yourself in Spanish. But if you pay close attention, I think you'll learn so much more because we're going to be using structures, patterns to help you create more sentences. Empecemos. We will start with this question. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? You probably know that that's the question to ask, what's your name? But in a minute, I'm going to show you how you can use it to create more questions. ¿Cómo te llamas could literally be translated to how do you call yourself? But it sounds very strange, so we just use what's your name? There are many possible answers. You could say me llamo Liliana, for example. Try it with your name. My name is Liliana, or I'm called Liliana. Mi nombre es Liliana. Mi nombre es, my name is. You could also say, yo soy Liliana. Yo soy, I am. Just make sure you're using your name. But now here's the trick. Instead of saying, ¿cómo te llamas? You could say, ¿cómo te sientes? ¿Cómo te sientes? So we're just changing llamas for sientes. It means, how do you feel? To answer, you could say, me siento bien. Me siento bien. I feel fine. Another example is, ¿cómo te ayudo? ¿Cómo te ayudo? So here, ayudo comes from the verb ayudar, to help. And it is in the first person singular. It means, how can I help you? In the previous questions, llamas and sientes are conjugated to the second person singular in the informal because we are asking about you. But in this new question, ¿cómo te ayudo? I'm offering my help to you. So it means, how can I help you? If you say, ¿cómo te ayudas? Then that means, how can you help yourself? So depending on what you're trying to do, you use como te and then a reflexive verb. Te is a type of pronoun that is used with reflexive verbs. It changes depending on the person. So, ¿cómo te ayudo? How can I help you? There are many possible answers. One example is, estoy buscando mis llaves. Estoy buscando mis llaves. I'm looking for my keys. So the progressive tense, estoy buscando. Progressive verbs in Spanish end in ando or yendo. And this is how you use them, estoy plus the progressive verb. All right, so now what we're going to do is remove the reflexive from the question. And we can ask, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And a possible answer is, estoy bien. Estoy bien. I'm fine. So we use estoy plus a temporary adjective, very similar to English. We don't use ¿cómo te estás? Because estar is not a reflexive verb. It comes from the verb to be. So now the question is, how can you use these structures to create even more sentences? You have to switch the vocabulary around. And yes, sometimes you will need to know if a verb is reflexive, which in Spanish most of them can be. But other than that, this structure works very similar to what I just showed you. I actually have a verb guide with a list of common reflexive verbs that you can use for this. I'll leave you the link in the description, but it has over 300 verbs conjugated to all the persons, all the tenses, and broken down by themes. The next structure that we're going to use here is ¿cuál es tu? ¿Cuál es tu edad? For example, ¿cuál es tu edad? It means, what is your age? And you can answer with tengo, a number, and then años. Tengo 30 años, for example. I'm 30 years old. So you can continue using ¿cuál es tu? To ask more things. For example, ¿cuál es tu nacionalidad? ¿Cuál es tu nacionalidad? What's your nationality? In my case, I can say soy mexicana. Soy mexicana. I'm Mexican. So just add your nationality to soy, and then you'll have the answer. Another example using this structure, ¿cuál es tu comida favorita? ¿Cuál es tu comida favorita? What's your favorite food? And we can answer with mi comida favorita es. My favorite food is. And then you add your favorite food. For example, mi comida favorita es la pasta. My favorite food is pasta. So now you know that ¿cuál es tu means what is your. All right, we're going to move on to the next question, which is ¿dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás means where are you? ¿Dónde is where and are you estás? A possible answer is estoy en casa. Estoy en casa. I'm at home. If you're at the store, you could say estoy en la tienda. Estoy en la tienda. We usually don't use the articles with casa in Spanish, but it's possible to use them. So you could say estoy en la casa. In English, we wouldn't say I'm at the home if it's your own house. But in Spanish, it's possible to say estoy en la casa. It's not wrong. All right, the next question is a bit tricky because ¿dónde estás is asking for a location, and a location is temporary. The next question is asking about origin, and it is ¿de dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? Where are you from? But instead of putting from at the end, we put it at the beginning. So it literally means from where are you? ¿De dónde eres? And here you can answer with soy de, and then add your country. Soy de México. I'm from Mexico. Soy de Canadá. I'm from Canada. Soy de Inglaterra. I'm from England. So we use estoy with temporary locations or feelings, and we use soy with more permanent situations. The next question is ¿a dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Which means where are you going? In Spanish, we use voy a. We have to add that movement with the preposition a. And so in the question, it just moves to the front. To where are you going? And then to answer, we can say voy a. I'm going to. Voy a la tienda. Voy a la tienda, for example. I'm going to the store. So I know this one is very tricky, but I hope it helps to think about from where are you from and then to where are you going. ¿A dónde vas? So we have location, origin, and movement. All right, the next question and structure that we're going to use is ¿cuántos años tienes? ¿Cuántos años tienes means how old are you? So in Spanish, we have years. In English, it's more like a state, a condition. So to answer in Spanish, we use tengo and then the number plus años, like we saw before. Tengo 30 años. I'm 30 years old. This is where the magic happens. We're going to substitute años for other nouns. For example, ¿cuántos hijos tienes? ¿Cuántos hijos tienes? How many children do you have? When you think about ¿cuántos años tienes?, we could see it as how many years do you have? But it sounds very odd, so we just translate it to how old are you? But that's the translation in Spanish. So when we see ¿cuántos hijos tienes?, how many children do you have? And to answer, it's the same structure. Tengo dos hijos. For example, tengo dos hijos, I have 2 children. In Spanish, we use hijos for all male children or a mix. And we use hijas for all female children. Here's another question. We're going to substitute hijos for mascotas. ¿Cuántas mascotas tienes? ¿Cuántas mascotas tienes? How many pets do you have? And we answer the same way. Tengo dos perros. Tengo dos perros. For example, I have 2 dogs. Tengo dos gatos. I have 2 cats. No tengo mascotas. I don't have any pets. So now you can use these questions with other nouns. Just substitute mascotas and then you have more questions. I do want to point out that we use cuántos with masculine nouns and we use cuántas with feminine nouns. All right, let's move on to the next question. Instead of asking how many, we could ask, ¿Tienes hijos? ¿Tienes hijos? Do you have children? So this is a yes or no question, and we can answer with sí, yes, no, no. Or we could say, sí, tengo dos hijos. Yes, I have two children. No, no tengo hijos. No, I don't have children. Or depending on your situation, just answer that way. Similarly, we can ask, ¿Tienes mascotas? ¿Tienes mascotas? What do you think it means? Do you have any pets? And again, we could say sí, no, no, no tengo mascotas. No, I don't have any pets. Sí, tengo un perro. Yes, I have a dog. Sí, tengo dos gatos. Yes, I have two cats. And we see the structure here. Tienes is conjugated to the second person singular, and then we see the noun. It doesn't matter if it's plural or singular in this case. We can use singular nouns. For example, ¿Tienes un coche? Do you have a car? But then we have to add the articles. In Spanish, we don't use the helping verbs like in English. We don't have do. It's just the main verb. It's one of the reasons we open with an inverted question sign. Because if you're reading and it doesn't have the question mark at the beginning, then it's not a question, it's a statement. All right, we're going to take a look at one more set of questions. The next question is, ¿Estás casado? ¿Estás casado means are you married? And you're asking a male. To ask a female, you would say, ¿Estás casada? ¿Estás casada? And again, this is a closed question, so we can say sí or we could say no. We could say sí, lo estoy. Yes, I am. No, no lo estoy. No, I'm not. Or we could say the complete sentence. Sí, estoy casada. Yes, I'm married. No, no estoy casada. No, I'm not married. You could even answer with no, estoy divorciada. No, I'm divorced. Or no, estoy divorciado. No, estoy soltera. No, I'm single. Or soltero if you're a male. How would you ask, are you single in Spanish? We start the same way. ¿Estás soltero if you're asking a male? Or ¿estás soltera if you're asking a female? They both mean, are you single? And we can answer the same way. Sí, no, sí lo estoy. No, no lo estoy. Sí, estoy soltera. No, estoy casada. No, I'm married. So the answers can vary, but just a simple sí or no is enough. So I used these questions just to talk about your marital status. But what if I say, ¿Estás cansado? What does that mean? Are you tired? ¿Estás cansado? For a male or for a female, ¿estás cansada? ¿Estás triste? What does that mean? Are you sad? And again, you can answer with sí, no, sí lo estoy, no lo estoy, depending on what you're trying to answer. My point here is the structure. We use estás plus an adjective. You do have to remember the gender. Adjectives like feliz or triste don't change in gender, but tired do. Cansado for male, cansada for female. That's the only thing you have to remember there. But the structure is the same. I truly hope this was helpful. Try to learn these structures and use them with your own vocabulary. Because in this video, we technically learned how to use all types of questions with WH words, with the verb to be, with non-helping verbs. Those all come very handy when you're learning a language. And to learn more Spanish, you can also go watch this video next. Muchas gracias.